Tuesday, and it's Mansfield today. We joke around, we have fun here, we laugh a bit. Oh, by the way, Advocate Lance Brogden, hello.
Afternoon, Jim. Good to see you, friend.
Yeah, I am just chattering away to myself, and I'm not even introducing our guests. Advocate Brogden is our resident legal eagle. As I was saying, we do have fun, we have laughs and all the rest of it, but there are times where we do touch on serious, very serious topics, and this is one of them. It's not an easy one to discuss, but it is one that is a huge problem in this country. And although this is basically an adult platform, it may not be a bad thing for you to watch this particular vodcast. And if you think it appropriate, maybe get your teenage child or children to download it as well, because there may be something they can learn, because we're talking about the very serious topic of sexual offences. Lance, what are sexual offence crimes?
Well, the primary categories are, Jeremy, and good evening to everybody, are rape, sexual assault, grooming. Let me first handle those three. So rape is forcing someone to have intercourse without their consent. Sexual assault is various other forms of sexual attack on a person. It doesn't necessarily mean intercourse, but it could mean forcing oral sex and various other practices. Or sexual assault is forcing somebody to watch, partake, or contribute in an act of this without the consent of the other party. Grooming is what disturbs me now, and I want you to share this with your children. We're trying to do this in a most serious manner as possible, but most of the sexual activities against children are by people that they know, people that they befriend, people they think they know, and often family members. So sexual grooming is where the child is prepared and made comfortable and given the right clothing, etc., for participation in a sexual act or filmed in a certain way. And it is really, really, really very painful. And please make your children aware, none of this is right. It is not their fault, and they must immediately walk away. The next three are incest. Incest means having a sexual relationship with a person who is too close to you in blood, too close in family. Now, it's not only because of we've seen in time where societies really intermarry to such a degree, you get various physical and psychological negative genetic impact, but also it's very bad in the family units. That's why incest is a crime, because it has serious, serious implications on the whole family unit, you know, a brother marrying a sister, and etc., etc. Then the last two, child pornography. I don't think I have to say too much about that. Besides, it's disgusting, disappointing, and unacceptable. Please look after your children, and any time you hear of child pornography, or the last one, child prostitution, those are the big 6 crimes. When it comes across your plate, it must be reported. And I hold it against you if you don't report it. We have to start looking after women, people generally, and children more than ever before.
What court deals with sexual offences in this country?
Right, so it's the Regional Magistrates Court. So it deals not only sexual offences, but more with more complex things like violent armed robbery, murder. So it's not just a normal magistrates court, it's the regional court, and handling sexual offences. There are about 60 of them in South Africa. Very, very important. And just another thing is, so we'll actually go back a second, just differentiate between those 6 major crimes I mentioned to you. The Sexual Offences Act relates to not purporting to or supporting prostitution, brothels, etc., etc. So that's another set of crimes, but they're not on a person, they're on an activity.
What is the minimum sentence that regional magistrates court could impose for a sexual offence? You know, let's say something like rape.
Okay, yeah, rape being extremely disturbing. So this is, now please hear me, this is the minimum. First offender, the minimum is 10 years. If found guilty, it's not a discretion up to it. And second offence, the minimum is 15 years. The two together is a life sentence. 25 years is pretty much a life sentence.
Okay. It's a horrible thing to have to try and rate ourselves, but how do we, as a country, South Africa, how do we rate against other countries when it comes to sexual violence? Because I would imagine we're pretty low down the ladder.
Well, around about 2000, the World Health Organization, we won the gold medal. The highest rapes per capita in the world. How shocking is that? You know, and it goes far deeper. I'll give you a few more little stats. When interviewed more recently, 76% of men felt that women had a right to say no to sex. That's great, but then it means that there are 24% of you bastards out there that think that women don't have a right to say no. Wow, how shocking is that? So that's the first harsh thing. A few more. Oh, here's another one. So we only think of sex crimes against women. It's not. I'm very, very sad to tell you that of all captured sexual crimes in South Africa, about 19.5% are against men. Males. When I say men, some are male children. And how shocking is that? Because men have this big ego, and so a lot is not coming out there. Jim, here's my concern. Those figures are totally understated because, you know, even women are scared to go forward. And please do. It's not your fault. It's not, and your children, it's not your fault when somebody does these horrible things to you. You must come forward. You must disclose it. I know it's embarrassing. It's easy for me to say it as an old man. But please, youngsters, do it, because otherwise these people will do it to other people. You must come forward, and I demand it of you, and you watch our show and you care like we do. Don't let it go. I mean, there's so many of these things going on.
The other thing that is really distressing, Lance, is this whole concept of I think the terminology is corrective rape. I mean, what the hell is this nonsense?
No, this is crap. Okay, so but it's real. It's a word, you can find it in the dictionary. There are certain people that believe raping a lesbian person, a person with other tendencies that some people don't regard as normal, will correct them and make them heterosexual. Please, if any of you have this nonsense inside your head, it's disgusting, it's unacceptable. People have the right to be who they want to be, what they want to be, as long as we look after each other. Please, this is the sort of trauma we have, not only in this country, in many countries in the world. It is extremely painful. This must stop. These shows here, share this with everybody you know. It's up to each of us to stop this. Gender-based violence, violence against children, male, female, violence against people who are homosexual. Why? We have to stop this, Jeremy. This is going to be one of many shows. There's more stuff coming down the line. It's up to us as a community to be responsible, especially with our very, very poor record in the eyes of the world.
Where does sexual harassment fit into all of this?
Okay, so sexual harassment per se is not a crime in terms of the Criminal Act. It's in the workplace.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a workplace activity, and sexual harassment doesn't mean forcing sex on someone. If you do that, that's rape. Then we go to the criminal side. It's harassing somebody, male or female. Please, guys, don't. There are certain young men in organizations that women try to take advantage of them for whatever reason. But the point I'm trying to make is sexual harassment is a workplace thing. It's Employment Equity Act offence. And don't be scared to come forward. And if you're not sure the person's joking with you, look him in the eye and say, are you joking or are you pushing my button? Because I'm not going to take this lightly. All right, and we all have good sense of humor, we have fun and so on, but be careful, okay? Even when you mean something in jest. The world has changed, that jest is not always accepted as jest. Please be careful for your sake and the other person. You want a harmonious business environment.
Okay, two other issues. As I said, this is not the nice sort of show to do, but it's vitally, vitally necessary. Excuse me, especially as a result of the culture that surrounds us in this particular country. Marital rape.
Okay, so let's go back a long time ago when we were still young students. The belief was that when you get married, it's consensual to have sex with each other. And at a certain level, it probably is. But as far back as, the 60s and 70s, it was no longer regarded as acceptable. In other words, you can rape your partner, okay? And I think it's very, very important that we understand this. There are still some people who believe that, no, I'm married now, so I can do what the hell I want to this person. You cannot. They need consent. They need consent to have intercourse with you, okay? And that is also if you're in a gay relationship. You don't have that authority. People have to give the consent. So, and another thing is, so in defense, so let's get a little bit, if we were in court now. The defense, for example, like, well, this lady is a prostitute. That's not a defense, okay? You can't say, well, therefore it's fine for me to force myself on her. Or she has a really checkered background. Who are you but to say that? So those are no longer defenses, and I think it's good. So you can rape somebody within a marriage, and when a marriage, let's go farther, universal partnership, intimate partnership, it's no longer a thing that, well, it's consensual just because we are together.
Finally, also another touchy one, bestiality.
Yeah, Jim, so for those who don't know, this is sexual acts against or with animals. And this is very painful, and we have all these jokes when the Australians and the New Zealanders come play rugby here and that, but it's far nearer to home and it's all around the world. There are countries, it's not my place to bring it up now, who actually legalized it in the 40s when some very liberal countries actually legalized, and rightly so, homosexualism. I mean, a lot of countries, it's illegal still. I mean, you get into big trouble for that stuff. But when they did that, they sort of opened the door to all sorts of things. Bottom line is, in terms of the SPCA and so on, this falls under cruelty to animals. And I don't want to get into graphic detail. Jeremy, we promised we're going to do a show on the legal aspects of the way animals are treated and so on. I think let's put that one there because, but also this, guys, we all joke and we have fun, and we have fun in the pub and teasing, and there are a lot of jokes. But this is serious stuff. If you even get an inkling of somebody dabbling in this absolutely taboo practices, and I'm not going into detail now, it's up to you. It's up to you, up to me, Jim, up to you. We have to stop this stuff. It's wrong. So my bottom line is we have to start looking after the people of our country, children, women, people who have a different sexual inclination. It's up to us to make sure we have a sound society. We don't. Ours is scarred, it's damaged, and the world looks at us as a bunch of idiots. It's time we stepped up. And if you're just going to rely on the police and the government, good luck. It's every one of us to see the scourge is ripped out of our society.
Edward Brogden, thank you very much. As we said at the beginning of this, it is not an easy subject to bring up, but it's a vital one that needs to be discussed in the public domain. And as we said, please pass this on. And if you feel it appropriate, please get your kids to download it and to pass it on as well, because there are things here that every single member of our society can learn from what's been said on this particular podcast. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, goodbye.
Thank you.